This is the hand trace table part 8. Just want to do another, maybe the last for loop with you on here for you to see the patterns that we're looking at. This is very important for you to see what actually takes place inside the RAM memory with this thing. And I'm going to modify some of the stuff. We're taking the same outside. This is your outer loop. Okay, that actually is going to have i's 1, i's less than or equal to 3, and your inner loop with this thing is j's 1. Let me modify this. J is less than or equal to 5, and we'll increment j in this thing just to give this a little weird looking with this as well. Let's do this one. Let's do something that looks like a checker pattern with this thing. I don't know. I'm being kind of fictitious with this thing. Let's jazz this thing up with it. Let's say I plus j. Put that in parentheses. We do that first, and then we're going to evaluate this thing. We're going to do this test expression to have it equal to 0. If that's the case, I want to have C out as an asterisk. Else, instead of this, let's just do this and just have a space in this thing. So what does this thing look like? What does this thing look like right now with it? Again, it's not going to look like this, I can tell you. I mean, that's the last one. Just modifying the inner loop for this thing changes the whirl in this whole thing with this. This is what we're looking at right now. Keep this in mind. I'm going to keep this up here. Come up here. I'm going to call J, I, J in this thing. Let's call this thing as 1. Let's call this thing as 1. And I'm in this loop right now. Okay, 1 plus 1 is what? 2. Mod 2 is what? 0. And 0 is equal to 0, so true. I do the asterisk. So my first output for this thing is the asterisk right there off the bat. Alright, so this is my asterisk right here. I come in, increment j again is 2 because j is incremented here. J becomes 2. 2 is less than or equal to 5, so this is 2. Plug 2 in here. 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. Mod 2 is 3. Mod 2 is 1. Equal to 0 is false. So that becomes a space in here. I'm not going to put anything in here. Increment j again to 3. So j is 3. 3 plus 1. I is 1 is what? 4. 4 mod 2 is 0. That is true. So you do another asterisk in this thing. And then you increase j to 4 now, right? 4, plug 4 in here. 4 plus what? What's I? 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. 5 mod 2 is 1. Okay? 1 equal to 0 is false. So it gets a space. Okay? This is where it goes. Plug j in now become as what? 5. 5 is equal to 5, true, right? Come in here now. Becomes 5 plus 1 is what? 6. 6 mod 2 is 0. 0 is equal to 0, true. I do another asterisk in this thing. So, I'm sorry, I kind of left this. So this blank is this blank right here for number 2. And this asterisk is this asterisk space. This space is for number 4, and the next asterisk is number 5. Now, what happens after 5? I still go to 6, correct? Because j is still being incremented in this thing. But if you plug 6 is less than or equal to 5, it is false. It exits out this entire block, it goes into the new line, and the new line with this right here, right? So I do have a 6 in the j, technically, right? What happens in here? Well, I now becomes what? 2, because I'm incrementing I here. 2, plug 2 in this thing. 2 is less than or equal to 3, true. I go into this loop again. Now, this is different. J now is 1, 1. J now is 1. plus I is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. Correct? 3 mod 2 is 1. With the remainder 1. 1 does not equal to 0. So it starts out as a space in this thing. So here's your J's 1 and it starts as a space. I start this out at the bottom as a space with this thing. Okay? At the right here with it. Increment J again. J becomes what? 2. I plug 2 in here. 2 plus 2 is 4. 4 mod 2 is 0. 0 is true. Alright? Both these equal to 0. This becomes an asterisk right here. Right? And then I increase J as 3. This becomes 3 plus 2. 3 plus 2 is now what? 5. 5 mod 2 is 1. It's false. So I get a space. Increase J is 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. Mod 2 is 0. This is true. I put an asterisk here. I do this for 5. Okay. 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 mod 2 is 1. 1 does not equal to 0. You get another space. Add another one right now. Okay. So you come in. Okay. So you add in 5 in here right now, and 5, you put 5 into this thing. Okay, so I kind of let me get caught up, but down here in my second row, we said the first one is an asterisk, a space, and then this asterisk becomes this, right? So this is what this pattern looks like. It kind of like a checker pattern, okay? And your last value, when you actually look at when J becomes 5 in this thing, what's J? 5 plus 2 is 7. 7 mod 2 is 1. Equal to 0 is false, and it kicks out a space. Okay, so with this 5, and then it goes to a 6, right? So what happens when it becomes a 6? Nothing, because J becomes 6. Here's 6 here, so this basically ignores that entire block, takes it down to the next line. Now, remember now your I in this right here now changes to 3, because your I now is incremented to this. I now becomes what? 3 less than or equal to 3 with it. True. Enter this loop. Now, be careful. J, you should have J, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. J now becomes 1. 1 plus I. 1J plus 3. 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 mod 2 is 0. 0 does equal to 0. That's true. And you are back with the first asterisk in this column right here. So this asterisk is coming down here is this asterisk right here. Coming back, increment J again. J becomes what? 2. And that becomes 2 plus 3 is 5. 5 mod 2 is 1. And that's a false. You get a blank. So down here you add 3. 3 plus this is 0. And you can see how this pattern alternates with this thing. And there's 5. And then you go back to this pattern. And then of course 6 comes here. And 6 will actually exit out this loop with it. And then when you exit this loop and you check in here, and wait a minute, I does get incremented to 4, okay, with this thing. And this 4 that you have in here, 4 is less than or equal to, that's false. So it actually skips out the whole block of code right here. You realize that? Let me fill in this right here. So you have this, okay, and then you have this pattern, space, and you have this pattern. So this is what this pattern looks like, okay, kind of like an alternate checker. Okay, cool.